It's that time. We're here. We're live. We're live from the loft. Look who's sitting next to me. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. Happy Thirsty Thursday. I'm thirsty because I'm drinking a little bit of coffee. I'll share a little bit more later what I've been doing this past week. But most importantly, I am so grateful that Ranka comes here early, ready to go, on time, ready to rock. And we're ready to have some good shares today. We've got a lot of cool things to talk about. How was the ride over, Ranka?
It was easy.
It was easy?
I love meeting you in Arlington this morning.
Ooh.
Grab a coffee at the local coffee shop, and the sun is out, and just perfect day to have a good conversation with Dave.
I like that.
Congratulations on your 90th episode.
Thank you.
How cool.
Yeah.
I'm your 90th guest.
It is the 90th guest. Yes. It is exciting to have the 90th guest. So if you are ready, how about you start us off with a quote and we'll jump right in.
Sounds great. So when you want something, the whole universe will conspire in helping you achieve it. That's my favorite quote. It's by Paulo Coelho, the author of Alchemist and many other fantastic books. So always puts the things into perspective. What does that really mean? And when you set your mind to something, how achievable is it?
I love that. And I love Paulo Coelho also. We'll talk about the Alchemist in the morning.
Yes.
On that note, welcome to this episode of Live Beyond Default Livestream. It's your weekly dose of personal growth. My name is Dave.
My name is Ranka.
And we are live from the loft in downtown Arlington Heights. Episode 90. You are watching us live on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube. And you can also catch the replays on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And you know, we're growth minded. We're going to be challenging each other. We're going to be uncensored. And most importantly, we want to all take out our notebooks because Ranka here is going to be dropping a lot of golden nuggets. And we all want to learn. We all want to grow together. And we all have the free speech to say what we want to say, even if our opinions are different. So Ranka,
love that.
Tell me something that you're grateful for this week.
I am grateful. First, I'm grateful to you today that I'm here. This is a big highlight of my week. I am also grateful that I have accomplished a lot of tasks this week, that I have, did a little something in a business that I wanted to achieve. That was really something that I was grateful this week, and that we have a beautiful weather to enjoy every single day. How gorgeous is this fall?
I love that. And what particular in your business did you accomplish this week? Did you do something cool? Did you move the needle forward on something?
I did move a needle.
Can you share it with us?
I kind of invested into some new softwares to kind of, simplify the processes and the systems of my flow in a business. So I kind of sat down and kind of accomplished that this week. So
I love that.
Yeah.
New software is amazing.
New software.
I love new software.
To make my life easier.
Well, I just updated to the new iOS 26 on my Apple, on my MacBook and my iPhone. I don't know if anybody did that. Of course, I did it yesterday, and everything looks completely different. But what I wanted to say is what I'm grateful for is I'm grateful for people like Ranka who really sees the true you. And I noticed that when I went to go meet her downstairs today, we came upstairs to the loft, and just the questions that she had and the things that she said, like, I'm here to make her comfortable and create a space that's nurturing for us to open. And here she is making me feel comfortable in my own space. And I just want to say that I really, really appreciate that. And I appreciate you, Ranka. So thanks for joining us. And why don't we just dive right in?
Yay.
Right?
Whoever is watching, thank you for watching. It's so cool.
Yeah, we love everybody being on here. Thank
Yeah.
you again for joining us live or checking us out on the replay. So, Ranka, we met in an interesting way. Do you remember where?
I do.
You do. I'm glad that you do.
Of course I do.
Okay.
The funny thing is that I started networking exactly 3 years ago in September.
Okay.
And my first ever networking event that I Googled, it was a village network with Raghu, Jason, and Steve.
Awesome.
And I walked into that place in Bellworks. They had luncheon for the networking. And I met you. And you came up to me and you shook my hand and you said, "Hey, I'm Dave." And I'm like, "Oh, what a nice friendly face."
That doesn't sound like me at all.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I met Dave, I met this, I met, but that was really the first day that I was ever in a networking setting, which actually I loved. It was not something that I was shy about talking to people, but it's always the first time, right? And you kind of look, it's like, okay, is the networking really working? Am I going to really meet the right people and friends that going to welcome me into this space? And you were one of those dudes. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Isn't that interesting?
And I do remember that. And we probably didn't talk much there.
Yeah.
When I remember really getting to know you better or really recognizing the gifts and what you have is when you were taking pictures of us at Break the Mold. You weren't the hired photographer there. But you were still taking pictures of us and you were having us all get together and you were having us pose and be in a certain spot. And I remember distinctly while you were taking the pictures of us at Bellworks, Alan Stern, Carolyn Litton, Dave Lasavio, Scotty Tillema. And at that time, Amy was with us too.
Correct.
Amy Willamy. And I just remember thinking, wow, I know she's a photographer. She wasn't the hired photographer, but she's still acting like it. And she's still being that person. And it doesn't matter. She's just showing up and being awesome. And then I remember asking for the pictures from you. And then you gave it. I'm like, these are so great. I mean, I don't like being in pictures at all. You
don't?
No.
Yes, you do.
Of course I do. I love it. But
no.
You really, really showed up. Let's check out some of these comments. Kemi, thank you. Hi, Dave and Ranka. Good for joining us. I believe Kemi is actually in England. Michelle says, "I'm so excited for this conversation with Ranka. She has a world and life perspective that makes the world a better place." Thank you, Michelle Morker.
Thank you,
Kathy
Michelle.
Facenda says, "Ranka is super talented, generous, and a bright light in our community." She sure is. Robert McGraw says, "Let's go. We are here." LinkedIn user, let me guess. It's either Brandon or Michelle. Sometimes LinkedIn doesn't come through on what it says. Good morning. Julian. Oh, haven't seen you for a little while, Julian. Ranka has a way of making everyone comfortable and feel their best self. Yes, she does. And Robert says, "Same story with me, Dave. Friendly, authentic, secure, so much depth, so quickly." And there's Alonzo. "Love to learn from the great people." Thank you all for hopping on the show. No matter what platform you're on, you can always watch the replay again on the same platform or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Okay, so we met in an interesting way. I always love the story of how we meet people, and because now I think sometimes it's more challenging to meet people. Maybe we think that somebody has an agenda. Maybe we think that, or maybe we're more introverted and somebody comes up to us like me. It's like, "Hey, I'm Dave." So how do you navigate that since it's been your first networking event 3 years ago? What have you learned over the years about networking? And then we're going to jump into the younger Ranka.
Perfect.
Ranka, and how you grew up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love networking.
Okay.
I really do. I think it's the best thing I have done for my business. I love it. I have joined multiple chambers and, just expanded my connections with the great people in a network, as a business owners, as leaders of communities. It has moved my needle in my business significantly. And I also do truly enjoy it as well. Like I love meeting new people. I love getting to know them better, who they are and what they do.
Yes.
And how they serve, in the communities. And then through all of this, it just changes your whole perspective about humanity, I think.
Changes your whole perspective about humanity. That's a golden nugget right there. I love that you said that. Thank you.
It does.
Ranka, how did you get to be who you are? Tell us about the younger you, the family side, and maybe as you were growing up, you had a couple pivotal points or some aha moments that you believe made you who you are today.
Well, I am born and raised in former Yugoslavia, so I'm Serbian, of Serbian descent, with a little bit of mixed family as well.
So you're Serbian?
I am Serbian.
Okay.
So I grew up in a completely different world. Then we had a civil war, so kind of a lot of turmoil and a lot of things that you see currently in other countries happening. We had that. I lived that. I was a teenager. I wanted to go to college, end up not going to college, end up moving to Germany to be with the family, lived in Germany for many years, almost 7 years, many years. Learned, German, got accustomed to the whole different culture, all at the age of 19 and above.
Okay.
And then immigrated to the States. And then...
How old were you when you came here?
26.
26. Okay.
I was 26 when I came to the States.
Yeah.
With my husband, with my high school sweetheart.
Oh, the high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot more stories about high school sweethearts lately. I love it.
He's my guy.
Yeah.
So, aha moments, aha moments are happening all the time when you kind of go to the next level and you see like, oh my God, I didn't know this. Like you come, live in a different country, and then you just see that what you have learned and your settings and your upbringing, oh my God, somebody else lives completely different. However, but who you are and who you are from originally, and your sense of your heritage and your culture and your religion and everything, I think that's what makes me, right? But expanding and accepting different cultures and learning new languages.
I love that.
Growing in that space. That's also what makes me, right? Or what makes anybody who has experienced that grow. So I think the combination of the best of the both worlds would be something that I call myself. I would never be this if I have not left.
And if you hadn't left, what do you think you would be doing today?
I actually wanted to study English and German, I wanted to go into college and study the English language and the German language.
Okay.
But the life has a different stories. I didn't go to college, but I ended up living in Germany and being proficient in German, and then moving to the States and being proficient in English. So be careful what you wish for.
Yes.
And when you want something, the whole universe will conspire into you, helping you achieve that. The quote.
It totally does. I love it.
Back.
We are on fire here, live from the loft in downtown Arlington Heights. What that makes me think of, Ranka, is we have been told for so many years that seeing is believing. And I do not agree with that at all. We are crossing that out. Just like we don't say sorry and we don't say at least, right? I'm big on those language patterns. Believing is seeing. Not seeing is believing. Believing is seeing. If you believe it, your reticular activation system,
correct,
the stars will align and you will see it. And
I agree with that.
And that's exactly what you said right there. And I love that. I love that journey coming here with your husband. And was it scary? Like, did you have like $50 in one bag and like, okay, we got this plane flight and that's all we have and we're going to go to New York? Like, where did you come?
No. I had a good amount of money in my pocket.
Okay, good.
I worked for many years. I worked as a 19 years old, 3-4 jobs.
Okay.
So I came to the States with a little bit of money, so I can always go back if I don't like it. And I didn't unpack my suitcase for 3 months when I first came.
You kept your suitcases
packed, just in case if I really want to change my mind. Both of us, if we want to change our mind. I mean, honest story. It's just like, very raw and very open conversation with Dave this morning. Yeah, that was the true experience. But then, like, we just end up loving it, and like, one job after the next. Like, yeah, I literally spoke a little bit of English. I was not very confident. I walked across the street in Glenview. We used to have an apartment in Glenview.
In Glenview, okay.
I walked across the street. It was a TGI Fridays restaurant. Do you remember?
Yeah.
TGI Fridays?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to go and look for a job. And my husband was like, what? You're going to go look for a job? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go and ask for a job.
Yeah.
I walked in. I'm like, okay, hi, here is my resume from Germany, translated in English. I swear to God. And I walked in and I said, okay, I want to be a server. And they're like, we cannot give you a server position, but you can be a host.
So, host at the front.
Yeah, host at the front.
Yeah, so which is usually where people start anyway.
Yeah, I took the job and I worked as a host.
Oh, I love that.
And, I walked from home. I didn't have a car. It was perfect. My husband couldn't believe it. I did that.
It's the American way. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Sylvia. Good morning, Christina. And Mark has a comment here. Mark said, I'm a recent client of Ranka. She definitely has a way of making people comfortable in front of a camera. She provided me with my photos just this week, and they are already moving the needle forward for me. Love that.
Thank you,
Mark. Thank you so much for sharing it. That's a big, big compliment for Ranka. Okay. Well, now you're here and you've been here for a little while. What does being fully seen mean to you? So that's the topic of the show. And we always talk about a lot of things, but Ranka chose a very interesting topic and a very timely topic that's not just about her, but it really resonates in so much about what's going on in the world today and how the world has changed, not just in the last few years, but in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So what does it mean to you to be fully seen?
Well, I chose this topic particularly because I am a photographer. I am a portrait and a branding photographer. So I see people all the time.
Okay.
And what does it mean to be fully seen? It's really meaning.
Talk a little louder.
It's really meaning to be seen in your truth, right?
Mm-hmm. Seen in your truth.
Seen in your truth. And what does that mean? How can you be seen in your truth?
Yeah. Tell us.
You have to connect with the human. There is no other way around it. The connection is the key. I have based my business on connection, emotions, and light as a photographer. Connections, emotions, and light. Correct. And that's how you've been human with people. That's right. The connection, it's the first step. In order to be fully seen, you have to connect with somebody. You have to be willing to share a little bit about yourself. And being a photographer, it's really something that has made me see that even further and deeper, how humans are wired, right? Yes. How are we intimidated by being seen? How are we vulnerable by exposing ourselves, and why? Right? Yeah. So being fully seen has so many different layers, yes, intricate components to unlock, to really see who you are on the inside, connecting with you, building the trust that goes both ways, and then capturing that. Ranka, how have you built the trust with one of your clients? And share a story about maybe where one or two clients really, maybe they were nervous. Maybe they were kind of closed off and afraid to be fully seen. And then all of a sudden, when you were with them in the studio, they really opened up. They really were their true selves. And they really, because you held the space, you encouraged them, and they were ready to be fully seen. Would you be willing to share one or two stories with us about that? Sure. I photograph women and men, right? And businesses. But women carry something really vulnerable, right? Okay. Like there is a little bit more of connection I almost feel needed for females, just because We are fully always given to others, right? As a females, we give more than we kind of want to be in the picture of being seen. So I have most of the time I have a experience where like people really don't see themselves as their loved ones see them.
Ha.
They don't see themselves as everybody who loves you sees you, right? For me, that's my why. Like I want to show you back to yourself where like you can see yourself the way your loved one sees you, right? But in order to unlock that, like I like to challenge you a little bit, right? I like a little bit of challenge. So when the women come to the studio and they share a little bit more of deeper stories with me, who they really are, whether there is a milestone, whether there is a sad story, a challenging upbringing, or really triumphant story, right? Like where like they celebrate something they have overcome a lot. We take that to the next level. We take that to the next level and say, okay, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this outfit, this setting, this pose, this movement, or something that kind of I can really see in my subject and unlock that. I will challenge you. I will challenge all of my clients when they come to the studio, try something else. And I'm sure Mark is here. Mark can say that for him. He was thinking he's not good enough he was thinking I am photographing mostly women, but I photograph men.
Yeah.
And Mark was my recent client and he loved it and just was like really much needed for men as it is for women.
Sure.
You know, to experience yourself because that's always a tangible proof.
What do you mean tangible proof?
The photograph is always a tangible proof.
Oh, got it.
The photograph is a tangible proof.
Okay.
It's kind of being on a video, right? But the video is not always comfortable for all of us, right? Talking to the camera.
You mean like talking live on this live stream here?
It's not comfortable. For me, yeah, it comes easy. But for a lot of humans,
for a lot of people, it's not.
That's why they hide.
Yeah, I get it.
So, but the visuals, the photos, the stills, when they're captured in a really meaningful way, authentically and connected to you,
sure,
those visuals stops the scroll.
You know, and I wonder about that. So like as a guy, right, I love being in pictures, you know, wherever, any event or golf outing or anywhere, camera comes out, I'm like, boom, I want to be in it, right? The funny thing is, like, I had this like old this old Seinfeld moment of George Costanza getting photographed. I know it's the worst, right? So I'm picturing like, guys just like with a big leaf over here or like a loincloth laying on a chair in a bed. Like, we're dudes, like we'll just do whatever. But, you know, something I wanted to challenge you on was sometimes I feel that professional photography is a little bit fake and made up. When I see it. And sometimes I feel like people don't really look that way in person compared to when I see professional photographs done. And that's just my opinion. You could disagree with me. I'm saying what I want to say. So tell me about that. Like, why do I have that notion in my head? Because I imagine like if I were to take pictures that I would really just want to be as like natural and just me, right? So where do I get this notion and tell me how that works its way into your art? Because it is truly art what you're doing.
Well, I'm sure you've seen a lot of, you know, beautiful and not so beautiful imagery of people out there. I think what you're thinking, it's more of like an editing component, right? Is it the retouching aspect that you kind of like, you know, it kind of draws you in, okay, that person, I saw her yesterday or him, he doesn't look like that, right? Yeah. So it comes down probably what you are speaking of, that like sometimes the images are over retouched, or over processed, or sometimes the photographer simply gives you the files and the client decides to put their own filters on it.
Interesting.
Which is really very common and very against the photographer's communication with the client. But it's your images. Once you purchase the images, you can actually put a filter on it. You're entitled to put a filter on it.
You could do what you want.
You can, but
Okay.
the copyright is still the photographer's right. However, people do like to put a different filter. Filter can change your skin color, can change your eyes color,
Right.
can blitz you up, can make you, to the different looks. So maybe that's what you have seen. And in the last 10 years or so, it's been very popular for people when they go live or when they are on Instagram to simply use the filters that the Instagram or the Meta uses. And it's not you.
That makes sense. Well, thanks for explaining that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to learn about that. Thank you, Roxanne, for joining us. Chris, woo, thank you for jumping on. Sylvia says, this is raw and beautiful at the same time. Thank you, Ranka. Julian has a great comment here. When Lynette DeRose had booked with Ranka, she was apprehensive. At her proofs meeting, she booked for next year and got me a package. Yeah. So that just shows right there, like the impact that you're making, the transformation that you're inviting those people into. And it is uncomfortable. The biggest transformation is always behind that door that's most challenging to open up. That's the heaviest to open up, or the doorknob is hot and you don't want to open it up. But always behind that is the biggest transformation. It sounds like that's what you're doing with your clients.
That's right.
I love that.
Transformation is the huge component of my work. Yes.
I love that.
It's transformation. It's really like, that's the key word. It's a transformative photo shoot experience.
I love that. Well, did you have anybody ever walk out on a photo shoot?
I have not.
You haven't?
No.
Nobody's ever walked out.
But that's the connection. That's the thing. I never would book anyone in the world over an email or over an inquiry just like blank like that. I would never. My whole experience and the process in my business, it's truly hopping on a call, connecting, having a consultation, asking the questions, answering the questions, listening to the client. That's where the connection happens. I would never be in a position, I think, for human to walk out.
I love that.
Because there's so many touch points in connection and in a caring way, right? Like, I want to solve your problem. That's why you're here.
You're solving a problem or a pain point, for sure.
A pain point. You are here. I have communicated. I have connected. I'm genuinely interested in you as my client, as my subject that I'm going to photograph. There's no way you're going to walk out.
I love that. I love that. Christina says, you're such a gift to the world. Your sessions transform and my turn is soon. Christina, thanks for hopping on again. Sylvia says it's like capturing the moment when you are not looking at the camera. Yes, I understand what you are saying. And Dr. Michelle, Ranka is a seer. It's her magic. She sees us and helps us see ourselves. The photos really are the evidence of our power in the present moment. Ranka captures our essence. I love what you said there, Dr. Michelle, about the power in the present moment, because that is really
absolutely.
That's really what it's all about. And speaking of the power in the present moment, I want to commend you and how you showed up here and how you've just been super present. And you've been, the vibe here, this place is on fire. If you were to be outside of downtown Arlington Heights, you would see big fire.
You see smoke.
You would see big fire up in the air. It's super cool. So now you've been talking about others and being fully seen, others meaning your clients. How do you put being fully seen into your daily practice? So not for your clients, but for yourself, or maybe for your family. How are you doing that?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Well, I always look at it as leadership. If you're not leading yourself, you can't lead others.
That's correct.
Right? So what are you doing in your daily life that is all, how are you yourself being fully seen? And where is that practice coming into your daily life, whether it's during the week, whether it's with your kids on a Sunday, whether it's with your parents, wherever?
So I think it's very important that we don't always just talk the talk, but walk the walk, right? We walk the walk. And I really kind of remind myself also, because I am very easily on camera. I photograph people. I'm easily networking circles. So I show my face a lot. I show my face a lot online.
Yes.
And I show my face a lot in the person.
You do.
Around, right? And I think that's how I am being seen, right? Like I can say, like, if you want to be fully seen, not necessary to use like just the word which is overused sometimes, authentic, but yes, in your truth, right? Like you want to show up as you are always, with all of your strengths and all of your weaknesses. So I am actually developing further and further a personal branding side of my business, right? Personal branding side, where like we create a custom design session for the businesses, and I ask my clients or anybody in a network to be a face of your brand, right? To flip that back on me, I have to be a face of my brand, right? And how do I do that? I do that by this conversation. I am face and brand. So whoever wants to be next, Dave, right? This is your opportunity to be on brand, to be a face that is visible to the world, because that's the only leverage you really have. Yes, you are an expert in a field, but people will not spend money with you, will not hire you if they're not connected to you.
I love that. You're doing it on social media. You're doing it right now here. You're doing it definitely when you're showing up to events. So how do you encourage, let's say, your husband or your kids or other family members to be fully seen? Like, is there a way that you challenge them if maybe you see like they're holding back?
Yes. I mean, my family, I challenge my kids a lot to be very true to themselves, who they are.
I want some examples here.
Like my both sons are athletes, right?
Okay, they're athletes.
Both of them are athletes. Both of them are in a one in college, one in high school. I challenge them to like talk about their fitness, talk about their nutrition, talk about their a good reading that they had, like a good reading book, like a good quote, good personal development. I send them daily a little bits and pieces, right? Reels. Sometimes they leave me unread, but that's okay. As a teenager, Mom, stop sending us reels. But no, I'm encouraging them through that to see a different perspective, right? To say, okay, what does it mean to be really focused or determined or aligned or, have a perspective? Like, that's how I challenge them. I mean, it's really hard to, bring the teenager out of their shell to be seen, right? Unless they're that personality.
I love that. Let's think of this with our own kids. Let's think of this with others in our life. First of all, where are we? Because we're always going to challenge ourselves, right? We do not play the victim. We are fully responsible for ourselves and our daily actions and what we focus on. So number one, where are we not being fully seen? Where are we holding back in our own lives? Think about it in the last week or two. Now I know Roxanne Parikh is on here and she is very good at being fully seen. And in fact, you have the incurable optimist syndrome that just goes over everybody when you walk in the room, because you showed us what it means to be fully seen. So thank you, Roxanne. Well, where have we all maybe at times kind of held back? We weren't fully seen. We were afraid that maybe if we were fully seen that we would be judged or people wouldn't like us, because unless we're doing it ourselves, there's no way that we could encourage our loved ones or our mom and dads or our kids or anybody else in our lives.
I think we are all really, truly perfect just the way we are, right? Like it's just that we don't necessarily see it all the time, right? But this conversation today and the conversation that I'm having with my clients or on my platforms, it's you are enough and you are worthy today.
Yes.
Because all of your experiences, all of your roots, all of your heritages, everything, every single component that who you are, it's good enough today. It's good enough for you today. Now, not everybody is an open personality to go on camera and talk.
Sure.
But maybe you can find a friend and you can like talk about a subject that is important to you. Let's say a therapy, a fitness, nutrition, anything.
I love that.
Anything that is kind of, but think of it. I feel like, and when I say that to my children, when I grow as well, it's like, think of the growth mindset, right? Like
I'm listening.
We heard about that growth mindset, what it is, but think about it like expanding and just being a little bit better, right? Not better like, okay, I'm bad now, but better like, okay, yeah, I have this access to enormous information out there. Use that information, find it, if it's through the social media, if it's a YouTube, if it's a book, is it a library, is it a speaker, a master of some sorts, right? In arts, in music, in business. Use that and invest in that a little bit, and then make yourself grow in that area. What speaks to you. You don't have to be on camera necessarily like this, but do those little things for yourself always.
I love that. And it makes me think too, like, I'm really glad that that I had the courage in 2020 to step away from my corporate career and to get into real estate, because I believe that real estate for me is an area where I can be fully seen, where I can be fully expressive of myself. And I'm so grateful every day that that I can wake up and be a part of that for my clients, but also for me, and set an example for my clients in what I'm doing. I also feel like yoga, when I do yoga, like I'm being fully seen, like I'm totally being myself.
Sure.
Even on here. So thank you for like, you're reminding me of how I'm good enough.
You are.
Just by what you said there, you're reminding me of that. And at the same time, like you said, recognizing that we are good enough, and recognizing also that we can step into the next level in wherever that we want to go, as long as we're focusing on it, as long as we're visualizing it, and as long as we're doing the behaviors to get into that, and recognizing that, yeah, we are good enough where we are. And maybe we want to become better version of ourselves in something, so we could go for that too. Yeah. What do you think you could be doing better in your photography?
There's enormous.
Name one or two things that you could be doing better now.
I could be better in like having a very, very good processes in place, right? To kind of eliminate me, to do everything myself, to kind of streamline it a little bit better, so my systems are better in place, right? My processes are better and functional.
Okay.
I'm always working on that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And always working with another mentor, or really going to a workshop of a master photographer. That would be always something fun to learn, because every eye sees the world differently. So that's the beauty of it. Every
eye sees the world differently. And what I love about what you said there is that you're always learning, right? The master never calls themselves a master. If you have a mentor or you have a coach and they're calling themselves a master, run, because that means they're not learning anymore. Okay.
Always learn.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you said that. And part of the systems too is, as creatives, we're not necessarily interested in systems. The funny thing is though, it's the systems and the setting of the boundaries that actually fosters the creativity.
Correct.
And without the systems and without the boundaries, the creativity will just be a fire, and we'll kind of blow out.
Exactly.
And die out, and then nothing happens, and that's not good for anybody.
Exactly. That's a great point, because I really like that, because systems and processes and streamlining how you do business will free you up to be more creative.
Yes, it will.
It opens up the whole new outlet of you. Okay, if my business is running on this system, I have all this new lighting setup that I want to try out.
I love that. Well, I'm looking down here, and Ranka brought me a gift.
It was very easy too.
Very easy. So she brought me a whole bag full of Spindrift, and I am a big Spindrift fan. I'm actually working on a little corporate sponsorship from these guys, huh? But I'm a big fan of Spindrift, and yeah, I always love to share things that I'm passionate about. And not only do I love it because it's bubble water, but I love it because it doesn't have the fake natural flavors that all the other ones do. It just has real juice in there. And as you know, this is one of my favorites. So
yeah,
thank you so much for bringing me this.
My pleasure.
bag.
David was at my exhibit for 40 over 40. And I had, different beverages, and I had Spindrift, and Dave saw me a few weeks later or days later. And he says, hey, can I ask you who got the Spindrift? I love Spindrift. I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to bring Dave.
So easy. I am so easy to please when it comes to that.
I'm going to bring Dave some Spindrift.
Bring me the steak, grass-fed steak and Spindrift, and I'm good, okay? It's so simple. Oh, I love that. Well, speaking of simple and not so simple, we had a big shift in the world about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the pandemic was a very interesting time. The lockdown was affected everybody differently. And I want to know a little bit about your experience. Did you just survive? Did you thrive? Where did you find challenges through the pandemic? And now that we're 5 years later, can you believe it? How have you reflected back, and where do you see yourself now with what you learned during the pandemic?
Always a good question, the pandemic question, right?
If you're not asking yourself 5 years later where you are today,
that's right,
compared to when the world shifted 5 years ago, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your kids and your family and friends a disservice, because we're not leading ourselves unless we self-reflect and unless we be honest with ourselves and call each other out on our bullshit, right?
That's right.
We had a pandemic 5 years ago.
Yes, I mean, it was.
How was it for you?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, just like for everybody else. But I actually made that big turning point for me. Right?
Tell us. I love that.
I quit the work that I was doing prior to that. So I was in a restaurant and hospitality industry for 25 years before that.
Okay.
And I was also a photographer. I also built my business while I was working in a restaurant part-time. And when COVID happens, I just decided I'm not going to go back to the restaurant anymore.
So
I'm just going to continue.
Lockdown started around March.
Correct.
Mid-March 2020. When did you, in this country it did, when did you start to realize you're not going to be part of the restaurant industry anymore?
Right there.
Right there.
Right there. When the restaurants close, when everything shuts down, I'm like, I'm not going back. This is my time to just kind of pursue my photography fully, expand, because I have opened a business already like 2-3 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to play, tiptoe around it. I'm going to just go fully in.
Yeah, you went all in.
I went all in. And of course, it was challenging, right?
Of course it's
no
challenging.
Contact, the studio opened up few months later. We had like a lot of sanitary protocols, mask and all of that. People would really not want to be
masks.
Taking pictures would not be like something people really wanted. I started my project 40 over 40 just before COVID hit, and I had to pose.
Yeah.
A big exhibit. So I posed because, you know how we went into phases, right? It was not always like, okay, just the beginning was rigid, but then it opened up. Then again was like scary. Then it opened up. So I worked in those phases as well, right? But it made me really think about a lot of things. I had enough of time.
Yeah.
I pursued my time at home a little bit more with kids, spending more time cooking, a lot of cooking with children. I was going live a lot on Facebook, cooking lessons.
Oh, I love that.
I love cooking. I love food. I love, I'm a huge foodie. So I love all of that. That's like something that I don't really often share. But that was the time that I was live on camera cooking from my kitchen.
Yeah, you were being fully seen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. During the pandemic.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. So you walked away from the restaurant industry. Was there a time during the pandemic where you felt like lonely or depressed, or maybe you were like, what the F is going on around here? Like, I'm just not feeling good about things. Was there a time where it got kind of dark for you maybe?
It wasn't. And it wasn't dark for the reason, but it was a little bit of I was never depressed. I was never went and believed that something that we are not going to come out of it. I was actually having an anxiety moment because I have experienced war. I have experienced war, and pandemic and shutdown reminded me of that.
You're not the only person that said that to me.
And
did it remind you of maybe at times where the government was telling you what to do and you couldn't do this and you were mandated by this? Was it something like that?
I never went in my head into that component. I always go into the component, I'm going to make it, I will survive.
Yeah.
And what tools do I need to survive, right?
Boom.
So I structured my family and our household based on that, because I have lived that, I have experienced that. So what are the essentials that you have to make it to survive?
I love that. And I heard from a lot of people who came from other countries who were under communism at times, where they'd say, you know what? I've seen this before.
It doesn't scare me.
I've seen this. And I don't think it scared them. I think it was more the perception of responding versus reacting like, oh, I've seen these things happen before, and making sure, like what you said, getting your home together, getting your act together, right?
Clean your room, circle,
make your bed, clean your room. I mean, that sounds so funny, but there's something to that. I love that you brought that up. Thank you. Dr. Michelle says, Dave, I admire your self-discipline and focus on what you believe in. Thank you, Dr. Michelle. And you know that you're always a super inspiration to me. And I love hearing you speak and share, and I always learn something from you. So thank you. Good morning, Dawn. We appreciate you here. And yeah, we all love Ranka's story, don't we, Alicia? Yeah. And we're going to keep going. So now you didn't have a real dark moment during the pandemic. You definitely shifted out of the restaurant industry. You went all in on the photography. So 5 years later now, what have you cultivated from that? And what lights you up moving forward?
I have cultivated a lot. I think I built my business. I built up my business. I built my brand awareness. You know, the kids, the family grew. We all grew together, right? But I actually, as an individual, as a business owner, grew a lot. I think that these 5 years have made me realize a lot of things. A lot of things in life made me realize that, you know, everything is possible, that I can grow at every stage, that I can level up, that I can do hard things, that, you know, all of these things that made me just, you know, that I can open up my own studio, that I can build another umbrella under this, that I can expand, that I can scale my business. It's limitless possibilities for each and every one of us. And I realized a lot of that, and networking helped me a lot. Networking helped me a lot. Meeting amazing people like all of you who are tuning today. Thank you so much for being here to listen to Dave's amazing podcast. And just like, you know, all of you who are here today, I feel like you touch my life in some way or the other. And I am so grateful for every one of you. And, you know, it made me really realize how grateful I am. And, you know, and as I said earlier, like, you know, humanity, right? The nonprofits that I have met, these people, the nonprofits that we have around us, just every single one of them, just remarkable, you know, that I did not know before COVID, that I did not know before I started networking.
You know, it's funny.
And that's what actually makes me also, I'm like, I'm so humbled by what people do. And I am humbled if I can participate, you know, in giving back. And it's just, I don't think anybody in the world has this, what the United States has when it comes to nonprofits. I really don't. The amount of people who truly care about others and who build this, I don't, like, I'm telling you, like, that's a goodness. Like, that's the hope.
Love.
That's the hope.
Love. It makes me think, I did not know about nonprofits until I joined the SBA. I heard about them. But then once you meet a Katie Brzezinski-Frank or others, you're just like, what is this whole nonprofit world? And I was just emceeing for Hopeful Beginnings, which is a nonprofit. I did that last weekend.
Yes.
You were there.
Yes, I was there.
Right here in downtown Arlington.
Great event.
At the Metropolis Ballroom. Thank you, Natalie Rodriguez and Sandy Valino Stock. We really appreciate you and that organization. But, you know, that was something to where to think I barely even knew what those were. And now nonprofits are asking me to come and MC their galas where they're raising hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Correct.
And they're putting me on the mic. Can you believe they're putting me on the mic?
You're so good on the mic. Come on.
You know what?
He brings the room alive.
It is just like such a dream for me. And again, like that's what makes like the grind worth it, right? And I'm sure you know this too, right? Sure. This is not about me. This is about all of us. Like that's what makes the grind worth it. When you believe in the photography, not the best word. When you believe in encouraging and leading others to be seen. That's right. What I meant to say.
Right.
You don't mind the grind on the back end. When you enjoy being a part of clients' journey in buying a home or selling a home, like you don't mind the grind behind it. And same thing with doing a live stream or emceeing, like going to bed early and practicing. Like I think about these things, but that's the love of the game. That's the love of being in the arena that you want to play in and recognizing that the way that you win, not beat others, but the way that you win for yourself and your clients is by practicing. Correct. Because the game is won on the practice field the week before. That's right. That's where it's really won. And it's funny, I just took up golf again. I used to play when I was a kid, and people have been asking me the last few years, so I play on and off. So what did I do this year? I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to play 9 holes every week until the season ends. Wow. So I've been doing it for 5 weeks now. And I got to tell you, have I gotten a lot better? Like I just sank a 45-foot putt last week with Brandon Cork, and I got par, like a 45-foot putt. You could barely even see the hole. And it was like, I sunk it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the point is, thanks you. That was my 2 minutes, right, of fame right there. But the point is, like, yeah, it's recognizing, what our life's calling is and knocking out this noise. And how do you knock out the noise? There's so much news. There's so many billboards. There's so many pop-ups. There's so many notifications on our phone. There's so much news, or I call it, it's mostly fake news to me, of people trying to divide us and tribalism, victim, villain, he said, she said. Like with all this going on today, how do you keep yourself true? How do you keep yourself grounded? And how do you distract the distractions that come your way?
Is it a question for me or for the audience?
That's for you. Well, it's always for the audience too, but
that's a good question for everybody, right?
Yeah.
For me, truly, it's really knowing what I want. What do you want? And then shutting down everything else around it. Is the peace my most common thing this week? Finding a self-peace? Is it the self-care? Is it, leveling up my business? What is it that I want, right? It's like writing a bio on your page, right? Who you are, what do you do, and for who? The same thing, you can flip it and say like, okay, what do I really want? And what is all this noise going around me? Where can I center myself and ground myself, right? Find the peace, find the center and the North Star, and go with that line. Right? Like go and do that. Yeah. Because that's for me, it's really important because I'm online a lot and I see a lot. And, sometimes it's good to scroll, but sometimes it's really important to stop everything, to stop all the noise. And I think you and I talked about this before at some point. When I go on my morning run or a walk, I don't bring my phone and I don't put my headphones on. When I go to the gym, I don't listen to music. I need a space in my head to have enough of free space that I can just listen and observe and use my senses, because we are online consuming nonstop
Yes.
instead of like having a moment of, just being okay without having all the stimuli and
Yeah.
all of your senses involved. For me, that's very important because I am a visual and I am a creator and I am online. So I use a lot of my stimuli senses to, be distracted. So I'm like, okay, I cannot do this. Like I know what I want and this is not it.
There was so much in there. I'm going to just unpack a couple things from there. Really good. I love what you said about recognizing that sometimes it's too much and you just have to say no to these things. But the only way you could do that is knowing what you're here for, knowing your purpose.
Correct.
Knowing what your purpose is. And is this distraction serving my purpose?
Correct.
Is this keeping me on path or is it knocking me off path? I love that you said that. And again, being pulled by that, but you're not pushing towards anything, being pulled by that purpose with your heart really gets these other things away, right? You say no to things.
Yes.
And it's what you're doing behind closed doors. Again, that's where you're winning the game for yourself and for others. And then I love how you said when you're taking a walk, you're present in the moment and you're not having 5 other stimuli going on. Andrew Huberman talks about that all the time. Like there's this stimulation stack that we've become used to where you've got to play music and then you're watching this and then you're lifting this weight. You're doing all these things at one time versus just doing one thing at a time. And something that I heard recently that I wanted to share with everybody is when you're distracting the distractions, when you recognize there's a distraction coming up, knocking you off path, and you want to distract yourself from that distraction, it's better to do nothing than to be distracted. So think about that. And that's something that's very challenging in this phone, social media, and instantaneous order something and it's here in a few hours. That's very hard to do. But imagine that when you find yourself distracted with something, Ranka, if you were to just walk away from it, go sit down in a chair and do nothing, just stare and literally do nothing. It'll actually do you better to do nothing than actually be distracted because now you're being present. You're listening to what's going on in here besides trying to cover it up or trying to medicate it by whatever you're doing it, scrolling on here, buying this, over drinking, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But the point is, sometimes just sitting here and doing nothing is better.
For sure.
Yeah. Literally for 15 or 20 minutes.
Having a reset.
Staring at the wall or staring out the window.
Have a reset throughout your day.
Yeah.
A little reset to remind you, like life is good.
It is
life
good.
Is great.
Oh my. I just love sitting next to Ranka here. We have a lot of comments. Let's throw a few of these up because I think they're super important. Dawn says it is a ripple effect. Thank you, Dawn. Brian, thanks for joining us. 2 amazing humans, Dave and Ranka. Love that. Dawn says I need to try to get into that. I need encouragement. Dawn, we are here to encourage you to be better. Dawn is an awesome realtor in the Northwest suburbs. Sylvia, yes, peace over pleasure, peace and mindfulness. Love that. Kat says, what do you want? Like writing your bio. Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? I mean, that's the first question any one of us should ask yourself.
Yeah.
And if you do not know the answer to what do you want, here's a good one. Are you ready?
It is a good one.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You know what you don't want. Everyone knows what we don't want. So if you don't know what you want, then you know what you don't want. Sit down, write it, express it, journal it, see it, be it, do it. Boom, done.
And that's a great place to start. That really is a great place to start. We
Simple.
know what we don't want. I love that. Nuggets. We're being golden nuggets are dropping from my 10-foot ceilings here. Okay. It's crazy. I love that.
Just sharing experiences. That's what it's all about.
Laura Leanne says, you both have a way of making everyone feel seen and heard. Dirk and I are grateful for our friendships with each of you. So glad we could tune in today from New York. Love
Yay!
that. Looking forward to leveling up together. Yeah, Laura Leanne and Dirk, the digital nomads.
I
don't
love
even
you
like
guys.
calling them anymore. I don't even like calling them that
Missing
anymore.
you.
Yeah, we miss you too, but we appreciate you being still connected with us. Thank you, Laura Leanne. Mark says, you want to be seen? You want to level up? Then you definitely want to connect with Ranka. Boom.
Boom.
Kathy loves it, Ranka. And Sylvia says, yes, what you are not changing, you are choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia, I don't know who you are. You started watching the show the last time when Brandon Cork was on, but whoever you are, thank you so much. Connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. We'll talk more because I love what you just said there. What you are not changing, you are choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. Well, we're already an hour into the show.
Wow. It felt like 3 minutes.
We're already an hour into the show. We talked about how you meet people, which is awesome, and who you surround yourself with. You gave us some examples of struggles that you had and how you moved through them. But I love this question too. What about setting boundaries and keeping your energy sovereignty, right? Choosing who you allow to give energy to and choosing who you allow to receive energy from, and saying no. How do you set those boundaries in your life for yourself and for clients?
Oh, that's always a good one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to have such a strong clarity about boundaries, because, and you almost cannot do that until you have experienced a burnout.
Yeah.
Burnout of some sorts, right? Overgiving, people pleasing, right?
Yes.
It's a big.
Keep going. Go on, girl. Keep going.
People pleasing, it's such a little beast. I'm telling you, like, and overgiving, it's such a little beast. So you have to just understand your boundaries. When can you say no? And how beautiful is it to say no? How good is it to protect yourself, right? In a good way, like, okay, this does not work for me right now, but it doesn't mean that I cannot help you down the road or whatever that might be. Saying no for me was a really hard thing to learn. And now I love it.
Isn't no great?
It was hard.
Of course it's hard.
I was brought up.
We want people to like us.
Not to, yeah. And, we want people to like us. We want people to like, people pleasing, but that's the worst thing. You're going to have only self-resentment, and you don't want to feel resentment for your own self ever. So ever. Don't do it. Say no.
Say no. Just say no. She's saying, you know what, Ranka? I was saying, take a look up at the screen there. We look pretty good together, don't we?
I have to look at the screen now.
Don't we look good together? It's like, boom, the fireworks are going. I love it. Well, now that we're closing out on the show, we really want to thank everybody for all the beautiful comments, just showing up live and recognizing that we are all doing our best to live beyond default, right? And not taking what others tell us to do or give us as the way it is, like coming from our true authentic selves and being aligned with our values. And as Ranka said, what we really want to do in our lives. And if you don't know what you want to do, recognize what you don't want to do and start there. So tell me, what does living beyond default mean to you?
Living beyond default means to me, it's really it's a good one. It's a good one, Dave.
Yeah. Well, it's the show, right?
It's really being true to yourself. It's really like, knowing yourself a little bit more and going for it, right? That would be living beyond default, and like overcome the challenges, overcome the, put the work in it. Put the work in it.
Yeah.
Take an action. You can do it, whatever that is. If you want to be seen, you can do it. If you want to be better, you can do it. If you want to build that business, yes, you can do it. If you want to get out of the, your bubble, you can do it. Take an action. Take a small action every day, and it's going to build up. Living beyond default, it's really something powerful. It's like it really makes you think about a lot of things.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we're going to close out with this comment by Sylvia. Gosh, you just hit a home run, Ranka. People pleasing, wearing your heart on your sleeve. Thank you for being raw. Boom.
Boom.
Thank you for being on this show. And thank you all
guys.
the listeners and the watchers. Share, like, comment. And if there's something that you didn't like on the show or that you think that we could be doing better, then challenge us, right? We always want to make the show better. I am super open to feedback and constructive criticism. As always, you are just watching episode number 90 of Live Beyond Default live stream. Coming up in 2 weeks, we have Mr. Jason Stallard. He's going to be here live from the loft with me. We're going to be dropping some nugs. We're going to be doing some cool things. And of course, until next time, make it a great week. Love yourself and love everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.